As the war entered its second year, many Americans still hoped to avoid a complete break with the British Empire. But even as news of the defeat in Canada reached Continental Congress in Philadelphia, support for an absolute break with Britain was growing. Where was this sentiment coming from? While the politicians bickered, people across the colonies were reading an argument for independence that was far more powerful than any yet made by an American. In January of 1776, Thomas Paine, an Englishman who had been in the American colonies for less than 2 years, assaulted the concept of peace with Britain, scoffing at the idea that King George III should be viewed as the symbolic father of the country. Of more worth is one honest man to society, and in the sight of God, than all the crowned ruffians that ever lived, Paine wrote. He went on to refer to the king as the royal brute of Great Britain, before hacking away at the idea that the mother country nurtured America and made her rich within the British Empire. Nothing can be more fallacious than that kind of argument, Paine declared. Paine stated that America suffered because of its connection to England due to the endless European wars that it had been dragged into. He also argued that the distance between America and England, along with their stark difference in size, were other arguments for independence. There is something absurd in supposing a continent to be perpetually governed by an island, he wrote. Paine insisted that a new era in politics is struck, and that all proposals for reconciliation made no sense since blood had been shed. Paine backed this argument with a claim that it was now America's mission to be a champion of liberty. In bold language, the 47-page pamphlet went on to call for complete independence from Britain, arguing that it was common sense to stop following the royal brute. He declared that the American struggle was not simply one over taxes, but a struggle for freedom. Paine argued that citizens, not kings and queens, should make their laws. The pamphlet caught the attention of Americans, changing the way many of them viewed the king. It made very strong arguments for creating economic freedom for America, as well as the colonists' right to military self-defense. Paine cried out against tyranny, and the public listened as 120,000 copies of Common Sense rolled off the presses in the first 3 months. This is equivalent to selling almost 20 million books in modern America. Common Sense went through 25 printings in 1776 alone, selling more than 500,000 copies in America and Europe. It was printed in multiple newspapers and read at town meetings throughout the colonies. Paine published the work anonymously and donated the royalties to George Washington's army, not only galvanizing the call to war, but helping to fund it as well.